Welcome to the Poker Listings Podcast. I'm Jason Glatzer, and you're joining me on the road visiting major poker events and tournaments across the globe. Expect casual catch-ups, in-depth interviews, and much more. In the first round of interviews, I'm taking you to the Party Poker Championship in Malta. Tune in. Hello, everybody, and we are back. It is the day after the Party Poker Championships Malta, and here with us is one of the final tablists, Wouter Schuurbiers from Belgium, lives in Malta, and welcome to the show, and apologies for completely butchering your name, so please introduce yourself.
Yeah, thank you very much. I'm used to my name being butchered, so that's fine. Like, I've heard a lot worse, so that's fine. So yeah, what can I say? Like, I'm Wouter Schuurbiers. Like, just turned 30. I've been playing poker for 13 years, 14 years maybe, and just picking up an occasional live event. And yeah, I've been working in the industry as well as just being on both offline, online poker, been busy with a lot of different things. So yeah.
So poker essentially is your life.
It's a big part of my life. Like, if I would say things broader, I would say like gaming is my life, as in like board games and video games and poker and everything. So, and iGaming. So yeah, I would say in a broader sense, like, gaming is my life.
And I guess some of those concepts with gaming apply to poker, because the GTO not only applies to poker, it applies to games.
Exactly. As well. Yeah. The thing is, what I have it in games and I have it with poker as well. I have a really fast learning curve, which also, that's why, like, in Hold'em, I would consider myself like an average player, because there's so many theory out there and people study the theory, and like, I don't really care too much about it, but I have a good feeling of the game. So if we would go for crazier games like Omaha, but even like open-faced Chinese, other things, and that's where I like excel, I would say.
Well, you obviously know how to play Hold'em too, because yesterday you finished in 5th place in the main event.
Yeah.
Out of 848 entries, and as far as I know, you only fired one bullet into the event.
Yeah, I did one bullet on day 1A, and had like a really healthy stack. I think I started in like the top 20 of the chip stacks for day 2, so there was really no need to fire a second bullet, especially as I had 300k on 2k, 4k, so 75 blinds, no need to fire a second bullet anyway. But yeah, it's like, the thing is, I don't really like Hold'em because it's only 2 cards, and 2 cards is boring, but the occasional big event I'll play if it's interesting and if there's a big player pool, and if it looks interesting, I'll probably play it. But it's, yeah, I would say it's not that I'm not playing it for fun, but I tend to play other poker games for fun. So yeah.
I mean, you were obviously having a lot of fun. I mean, at just about every moment, whether it was you winning or losing a hand or somebody else at your table or something funny happening, you were smiling and laughing.
Yeah, of course, because I'm enjoying the moment as well. Like you're sitting there, you might as well just have some fun as well, right? While being in it, because like, it's funny. Like, when I was rewatching some of the gameplay, people called me a nit, but I just couldn't really get any good spots in. Really, it didn't. Yes. And it was in some really weird spots, and I had to make some laydowns, which apparently people were surprised of, which felt logical to me. But yeah, the thing is, I got lucky as well a few times in an event, like anyone does in an event. Like, for example, at the start of day 2, it's like, I've been folding for a long time, didn't get any spots, and then suddenly I decided to ship 5-4 suited on the small blind for like my 9 or 10 bigs left. Big blind snaps with 9s. It's like, okay, buy tournament, but 2 5s on the flop, and yeah, we just cruised through the rest of the day. And
this was early on day 2, correct?
That was really early on day 2, because I started with 300,000, and then I fell down a little bit until I like 120, 110, something like that, on 6k, 12k, and then I shipped it there because it was the first spot I found. I got caught with my hands in the cookie jar, but somehow I managed to get my hand back out and get through the rest of the day and get through to day 3 with this result. So
So on day 3, I missed the 5-4 suited hand while reporting the event, but I did see a couple of hands with you. And I remember that, it's always good to get it in with ace king, but you ran into kings. And then when that ace at the river, you were re-energized.
The funny thing is, before the start of day 3, I was actually saying to some of my friends who have bought some action, like, I feel I'm going to be part of a big setup, but I have no idea if it's going to be in my favor or not. So I finally find the ace king, get it in, run against kings, and I was like, okay, it's over. And then ace on the river is like, oh, it's not over. And that was a really healthy one to win, because that brought me to like 2.5 million, something like that. And then just cruising to the final table, and then start with a small stack. But if you look at it, like almost all stacks were really shallow. So it's just going to come down to getting a good run of hands in the final table, which I didn't really get. I didn't get really good spots. And when I found the really good hand, the queens, I ran against the aces, and we're gone.
Yeah, let's talk about that hand, actually. So
really interesting.
There were 6 players left.
Yeah.
6th place was, I believe, due to get 10,000, and 5th place due to get 13,000.
It's different. So the 6th place was getting 13, and the 5th place was getting 16. Okay. So it's a 3K pay jump.
Okay, so the pay jump, correct, but the amount's slightly off.
Yeah.
And you jammed, I believe it was like 10 or 15.
I think it was like 1.6, 1.7 million under the gun, 8.5 bigs.
Yeah, so standard with queens.
Even though, I think the important part to know about his hand is the big blind, he was super crippled. So he had 450k to start the hand with, but it was on the big blind, so he put the 200k on his blind and 200k empty. So he only had 50k behind, which made the hand really awkward, but still, I'm never folding queens for 8 bigs. Simple as that. So I get it in. And then this other guy gets it in, and then he's in a really difficult decision on the big blinds, and I still don't know what ICM-wise would be the best decision. I think you should clip it and see what other people think. I remember the commentator saying that it's not his fault because he had 9 deuce off with completely terrible hands. But if he folds, there's no way he's gonna come back to win the tournament or have a big chance. It's possible, but I think, but if he plays with the 9 deuce and he manages to find a win, he plays 8 or 9 bigs, and then he can come back from it. It's I have no idea what the best decision is.
Yeah, and stacks were super shallow, and there was an 81,000 top prize on top. So even ICM wise, we should run the numbers, but the commentators knew what they were talking about. So probably an ICM fold, but is it a trophy equity fold? You have to
exactly.
You want that massive trophy.
Yeah, and the thing is, if you look at it, the pay jump isn't massive as well. You go from 13k to 16k. It's not a massive pay jump. If it's a bigger pay jump, then it's probably a fold. But I think for a 3k, if you already have 13k locked up, I wouldn't know what to do. But I would probably just get it in as well. Hope to get lucky with the 9 deuce, which he didn't, because the flop came something random where I could still hit the backdoor straight. I think the flop was 10-8 something, and I was asking for the 9 on the turn, so everyone had a chance to win. Me with the gut shot and him with the second pair, but no ace on the turn, and the game was over. But yeah.
But you entered the day and you didn't have a lot of chips. And I remember we talked the night before, and I looked up your results and I said, you know what, you need to get up to at least 6.
Yeah,
you
I got there.
Took a score and you got there in 1 spot more. You should still feel good about the result overall. And there was nothing you can do. But how do you feel today?
Well, still the same, really. There's not a single moment I thought oh shit, I could have done better than this 5th place. Because just with the run of hands I've had, I wasn't only card dead, I was also spot dead. And there were maybe 1 or 2 spots on the final table where I could get it in as well. But a lot of the spots were also very awkward looking, that especially when the guy to my right just got crippled and I find 6s in a weird spot. It's do I get it in? Do I not get it in? Because I'm flipping at best. It's a lot of awkward spots, really. And logical spots I took. And I got lucky in the start of day 3, but on the final table, nothing special. I doubled up with ace 4 against king queen, which guaranteed me the few extra pay jumps. But for the rest, just not my final table, I guess.
Now, you're known, obviously, as a poker player in Malta, and there's a big Maltese Facebook group, the Malta Poker Fishes. You guys should check it out if you're interested in anything Malta poker related, but why I'm bringing it up is you just had this ridiculous rail of people watching you on Twitch. So how is it being on the TV table, knowing that basically it was at least 100 people from this group, watching and micro watching?
Yeah, I have to say, like, there were a lot of like people from the Maltese community, but also a lot of people from the Belgian poker community that I know, because I've always been very active in the Belgian club poker scene. A lot of people that I know, like most of the people that are actually from this tournament from me also are from that scene, and yeah, they just try to hype things up in the chat, and it was really cool to watch. Like when I was rewatching the table, and people were just like supporting me. It felt really good, and all the messages I got on Messenger is like, it's great. It's like it's not my first featured table where I get where I get deep in the tournament, but it's definitely the one that it was really nice. It was a real good feeling.
And were you nervous at all? Like, I know you have to be a little bit nervous just because it's final table, but does being under the lights and camera add to that? Or
that doesn't add anything to it. No, it doesn't add anything to it at all. It's just the nervousness for the final table itself and for the pay jumps and that. But the cameras, I don't care about that. No, that doesn't change anything.
Good. And you're not a typical tournament player. You play mixed cash games. So what made you? I mean, we talked about how there might be value, but what was really the deciding factor to enter? To begin with. And I know you're going to be playing a few other tournaments coming up in Malta. There's the Battle of Malta coming up, the Malta Poker Festival coming up. Yeah. So what made you decide to like switch gears for a month?
To jump to tournament games instead of mixed games.
Yes.
It's just like I felt like playing it, and it's a good event, and it's nearby, and it's like, okay, I should play it. But it's like I say, a lot of people know that I don't really like Hold'em, and it's just like something to fill your time. But it's like, it can be fun to play occasionally, especially like the bigger events when there's some interesting spots and nice international fields. Then it can be fun to play. But you'll never see me play a Hold'em cash game, for example. Like I might play the occasional daily tournaments here in Malta. But yeah, overall, just give me mixed games. The more cards, the better, really.
And obviously, the vibe at the Party Poker event was tremendous. But forgetting about the parties and everything that you didn't have time to enjoy because you're busy playing poker, there was sick overlay. Which obviously everybody on the final table benefited. Yeah. Did that come into like your thought process? You know what? There's a 500,000 guarantee on this 500 euro event that's going to cost the value.
Because they announced this event, what was it, like 3 weeks ago? And I was thinking like, there are still the COVID restrictions in Malta. They would still keep a number of players from coming here. There's other things or other events going on. It's just like, I feel it might be good value. There might be overlays. Like, you just have to play it, really. To be fair, I expected after we had 92 entries on day 1A, which was on Thursday, which would typically mostly attract the locals. I thought we were going to get to the 1K entries, with maybe people flying on Friday or whatever, but apparently there was still like 76K or 78K overlays, so yeah, that's to it. But I think Battle of Malta and Malta Poker Festival, I think they will get the guaranteed, because that should be fine, but it's still, they have a nice guaranteed, which means nice player pools. I should have some friends coming over for the Battle of Malta and Malta Poker Festival as well, so it would be fun as well. It's like the whole atmosphere. And one thing as well is I'll give a shot at the tournaments, but we saw it last night as well. There could be an occasional good mixed game after that. So with some juicy tournament players that, what is that game? I want to learn that. And yeah.
Yeah, let's talk about last night, because that was a lot of fun. So last night, I got a message from you and our other friend, Adam. We're not going to say his surname right now, just in case he doesn't want to be mentioned. But message, when can you play? When can you play? I'm like, well, the tournament just wrapped up. I need to write the recap. Yeah. I need to freshen up, and then I'm down. So I come down, and there's a nice mixed game already running. Obviously, no point they're waiting for me. But it sounds like the juicy players already left, because it was quite a good game that we were in. Some talented players, and we were all having a good time.
Like there was one local player that decided to join the game, but sometimes they can understand the rules, but they don't really grasp the concept of what range of hands to play and how to play it. Like especially in Sweden, where people, they can be like often what you have is people know how to play Omaha, and they will just approach that from an Omaha perspective, but you shouldn't because you're only playing for half the pots. It's like, yeah, the thing is, the game was juicy at a point, and we had a random Italian guy and a random Italian tourist, I think, just splashing some chips around, not really knowing what they were doing.
I missed that one. I feel like I missed an opportunity.
Yeah, by the time you joined, like most of the players around the table knew what they were doing as well, especially when we had that British guy joining who got a few final tables in side events. And I mean, we were talking about Superstud. I asked him, hey, do you know how to play Superstud? And he said yes. I really knew, like, okay, he probably knows what he's doing.
Yeah, let's talk about that mix as well, because some of you that are listening may have to even Google. Superstud was probably one of the more basic games, although we did play around the PLO8. But we were playing Watermelon, 3-board Omaha. We were playing not only just normal Sweden Special, which is also known as Dromaha. It's slightly different than Dromaha, but if you know Dromaha, the only difference with Sweden is if you're drawing one card, it's face up, and you have a chance to decide whether to keep it. But there was a 6-card version of Sweden with already a card exposed.
Yeah,
and there were all sorts of crazy games. 49 we played.
There's so many different kind of mixed games. And basically, the rule is in the games that we run is if you can explain the game, and the casino has a license to offer it, but they have it for most different kinds of games, so that should be fine. We can play it. Of course, there's players that don't want to play specific games, and it's like, yeah, you just sit out if you decide to join the table. Well, you can just you have to accept that people might choose games that you don't like, and it goes really wide range. And the thing is, it also depends a lot on which players are playing. Like sometimes you have these typical PLO players, and it goes into Watermelon, which is like 6-card on 3 boards, and whoever wins the most boards scoops a full pot. And these games can get really crazy at times. Like we were playing a 2-2 mixed game, like. What was it on Wednesday or Thursday? And every pot got easily above 1K, 1.5K, just because the game is so crazy and people like to put money in. It's like, those games can be juicy, but super swingy, of course.
Yeah, by the time I got there, everything was pretty chillaxed. I mean, there was some nice pots, but nobody really re-entered. A couple guys got felted.
Yeah.
I basically broke even one.
The thing is, as well, it was a bit of a cool-down table as well. I was out there too. I was super tired as well. I just wanted to cool down after finishing the main event and just splash some chips around, have some fun. And yeah, I managed to win a bit because I got it in really good against one of the players I wasn't really... not really aware of the rules of the specific game or what the right range of hands would be. But
I think you're talking about me.
No, I'm talking about you. It's there was a guy who was sitting on seat 8. I think by the time you were here, you really left. He only put in one bullet, and I realized it's probably not his thing, and I just left.
So on a scale of 1 to 10, how big of a fish do you think I am on this limited 3-4 hours?
The sample size is not big enough.
That's too diplomatic.
Well, the thing is, like, I don't remember winning any big pots against you. Like, I always had to fold against you when you turn out to have it. But like, we'll see. Like, if we play more games during the Malta Book Festival or whatever, then I'll see if I can put an accurate number on that.
And I was really impressed actually with the setup Portomaso Casino has for the mixed game players, and primarily that they actually have dealers that know all the games. Like I'm so used to going to places and sometimes they let you run a mixed game, but they say the dealer probably doesn't know half of what you want to play, and then we explain, and then the next day they kind of know what's going on. But these guys were all spotting the dealers were explaining me the rules.
A lot of that also has to do is like we are a group of friends and we have our home games that we play with. But at some point we decided to take the game or try to take the game to the casino. We started in Oracle Casino, which is in the north side of Malta, a smaller casino, but that's where we started our mixed game there. And then eventually we got the game going to Casino Malta, and then we moved it to Portomaso as well. In the meantime, we had like one Sweden game in Portomaso, which attracted actually 2 or 3 tables, which was funny. But the thing is, as Oracle and Portomaso, they're from the same group, and the one who was partly responsible for the game in Oracle as well, they knew the rules. I think they already had the licenses for it as well, so they were prepared for it. But the thing is, a lot of them games they learned through us as well, and often it's just like, just let us play. We'll tell you the rules. We'll pay the rank and whatever. And and now this game is turning out into like a weekly thing. I think it started as a monthly thing because I moved back to Malta last month. I've been away for 1.5 years. I went back to Belgium, and they got the game going occasionally. But now I'm always there trying to push the game. Sometimes get it going weekly. Every game is different, but it's good to have that game because I don't think you'll find it in a lot of different countries in Europe, really, the mixed games. So.
And there's a weekly speed and special tournament too, from what I understand.
Yeah, so they have daily tournaments, which are usually range between €30 and then €100 for the buy-in. So it's like just your average daily tournament. And on Tuesday, they run the Sweden tournament, which has between 15 and 30 to 35 entries.
So it's like a small family kind of.
It is. Because initially they used to run that tournament in Oracle Casino on the north side, but I think they stopped poker for a while because of COVID and things. I don't know the true thing about that. Then they tried to move it to Portomaso, which still attracts the same players that used to play there, plus some of the Portomaso regulars. And it's good to see that they're trying to push some other games as well. So,
Good. And as far as I know, there's 3 main places to play poker in Malta. There's Portomaso Casino, where we just spent the last week, which is fantastic. I also have I will be at the Battle Malta reporting and commentating as well. I love Casino Malta as well, so I'm not playing favorites here. They both have good things about them. And then there's the Dragonera, which I have not yet visited yet, but I've heard wonderful things about their views. So if you play poker at Dragonera...
I haven't played a lot of poker there, but it's a really nice poker room because it's like out in the sea and you can get some really nice views from there. I think I have to say Dragonera Casino is probably one of the nicest looking casinos in Malta. But it's the one that's also like it's tucked away quite far in Patcheville. Like if you look at how the casinos are placed, like Casino Malta mostly attracts more tourists and table games because I don't even think they have daily poker running now. I could be wrong, but I don't think they have. And then Portomaso usually is like the casino for the regulars, which have like the daily tournaments and things like that, which usually has the biggest fields. But then Dragonera, which also have like the even smaller stake tournaments, like €20, €30, from what I've seen on Facebook. And have some cash games running as well. And I have to say, it's a nice casino to have a look from inside and outside, but it's like a casino's a casino. It's not that they're that special. It's just, poker with a view, I guess.
Good. And what are your plans over the coming weeks? I know there's a couple big festivals coming up, but you also have a week before that. Are you going to be playing poker every night? Or are you going to take like a break after your big win and save your energy for these 2 big festivals?
Well, I'll probably be doing what I mostly do, poker related, is just like playing some open face Chinese and then playing some, trying to get some mixed games going. And that's about it, really. I might click an occasional online tournament, but that's nothing fixed, and I'm not a big online player anyway. And just taking a good rest for the big events that are upcoming is fine as well. As I said in the beginning, I'm a huge games player as well. I'm a big chess player, and there's a big tournament coming up in Malta as well. So I'll be playing a big live chess event, and I'll just keep myself busy with games like I do usually, so then ready to get something good going in Battle of Malta or Malta Poker Festival. We'll see.
That's impressive, though. I didn't know you were a chess player. Yeah. So you play competitive chess in tournament style. So are you Grandmaster level, or what are we talking here?
No, I'm definitely not Grandmaster level, but I started playing chess when I was 9 as well. I'm online. I get around 2,200 now. I think my FIDE rating, international rating, is around 1,900, 1,950. It's like the thing I have is it's like I have with a lot of games. Like I said before, I have like really fast learning curve. But then I am too lazy to get really good in a game. And as soon I just get better by playing a lot and then just getting better by playing, not studying. But you reach a certain threshold which is very hard to cross if you don't study extra. So for me, it's like around 2,000 rating, which is decent. It's definitely above average. So, but I wouldn't call myself a good poker player because I'm a good chess player. I wouldn't call myself really good poker player.
Come on.
Okay, I'll say that. Don't consider myself a good Hold'em player. Consider myself a good poker player.
Okay, that's fair. Even though you just took fifth and
but even a blind squirrel can find that sometimes, right? No, but I'm a above average chess player. Let's call it that. Yeah.
And how does entering a chess tournament differ? I mean, I've watched what was the name of the Netflix show? Queen's Gambit.
I still haven't seen it.
It's amazing. I mean, I don't play chess other than like a little bit with my son, but not certainly on any like level close to what you are.
Yeah.
And I've never, attended a chess tournament, and I know it's one-on-one, so it's a bit different, but is there luck involved like there is sometimes in poker, or is there mental challenges? Like how do you approach a chess tournament different than you would approach a poker tournament?
Well, you just try to like be focused and be awake, and then make sure that you sleep out. And there's no luck involved whatsoever. One part of luck you can have in a tournament is like the table draw. Not the table draw. It's like the
bracket draw.
Yeah, the pairings, like who you have to play and who you're playing the next round. So the pairings. That's the only thing where you can get lucky in. But in a chess game, there is no luck involved whatsoever. That's also why I really find, well, I'm not going to call it disgusting, but I find it really annoying that people compare poker with chess, which is completely irrelevant. It's like, oh, but it's also a thinking game. Like, no, there's unknown information in poker, which makes it a completely different game. There's variance, there's luck, and there's none of that in chess. It's pure exact game, and there's no hidden information. It's just wits against wits and see who's the best. So yeah.
And what are the prize pools like in these chess tournaments?
Well, it's nothing massive. You just play it for fun, basically. Like like if you want to be good in chess and win decent money at playing it, you need to be really good, and there's no value in that. But it's just for fun. Because I played a lot from when I was 10 until I was 20, then poker took over and I didn't play any chess, and then I found my love for the game again a couple of years ago when I was back in Belgium, and then, now I still like to keep that going, so we'll see.
What would you think of like a triathlon tournament that involved like poker, chess, and let's say like another game, or something like that?
I'm definitely up for that. Like I said, I'm into a lot of different board games. Like you got some websites where you can play board games online, and there's a few board games that I'm literally like top 5, top 10 of the world in as well. So yeah, like I'm definitely up for that. I think in London, I think it's somewhere in July or in August, there's like a World Thinking Sports Games or whatever it's called. I don't remember what the exact what it was called exactly, and I'm thinking of going there because it could be fun. It's like a lot of different board games and then other things. They just run championships. So yeah, I'm a very competitive player as well. Like even if I play online games, I just want to have like some kind of rating or some kind of goal or whatever. Like I'm really competitive person in that regard.
So you're playing for the entertainment value more than, let's say, anything else. But does that also apply to poker, where you're playing mostly to achieve certain goals rather than to achieve certain like monetary goals, let's say? Or do they collide? Maybe your goals are monetary goals.
Yeah,
puts them together.
Yeah, of course. Like if you're starting a tournament, you want to win it and you want some money, but still you want to win it and you want to like. I want to show that I'm able to do something and get far and be one of the better ones is out there, so to speak. So yeah, that's yeah.
Okay, so you maybe have this chess tournament, and then soon enough will be the Battle of Malta. So what are your plans during that?
I'll just play the main event and then try to get play some cash games on the side. Probably I will need to check if they would be able to offer some mixed games. If not, I'll probably play some Omaha games or get some games going in Portomaso when it's the Battle of Malta. Because, of course, when there's a big event, people also go to the other casinos where poker might be offered. So, so it's going to be... Well, I took those weeks off as well, like when I'm playing the bigger events. And I'm going to be playing poker. And if the tournament's not going, try to get it from cash games. And if that's not going well, bad luck. Better luck next year, I guess.
And then straight after that is the Malta Poker Festival. Yeah. There's not even a day off in Pittsburgh.
No. It's just,
bang, bang, bang. It's amazing.
It feels like one big series, really, that is just taking place across 2 different casinos because it's straight after each other, which is great. There's not a single day in between as well, because I think when one the one event starts, is they have like a cooldown event of the other event?
There's a 1 day overlap, but the first, like.
They're thinking that one day they have a satellite for the other one as well. So like, yeah.
But I'm looking forward to both of those personally. The working one and then the Malta Poker Festival. I'll probably do. I mean, I don't go anywhere without not doing a little work, but I'm not going to be reporting that. So it'll be like the first time around I actually played the Malta Poker Festival main event, cool. And it was a great experience. Just I like the Hilton where the hotel is. You got to see the views from the.
That was a really nice view. I'm not gonna lie, yeah, indeed, that was really good. Yeah, it's like I think Malta Poker Festival is also. It feels like it's the event that is carried the most by the local poker community. I would say, like the one that people are looking the most forward to. I don't know. Like I have heard as well, like with some poker players that came from abroad to play this tournament. Like some of them might come back for one, or some of them might come back for the other one. I haven't seen a lot that come back for both events. It's like.
I've heard a bunch doing both, but it's been like a fairly mixed bag. And the two tournaments are a bit different. Like the Battle of Malta, it's definitely a fun atmosphere, but it's like in a very big space, and it's a lot of different side events, and it's more about the poker action, but it is a very fun environment too. And the Malta Poker Festival is a little bit, less side events, but a bit more of like a homey feeling,
Yeah, so exactly.
It depends really on both. And I like both kinds of structures. I only have like really good things to say about all those events.
The one thing I'm missing though in both schedules is like there's not a lot of room for other games than Holland. I think they both have one Omaha side event. And that's about it, which is a pity. That's also like if we're talking about like upcoming festivals, like I definitely want to go to the festival. What is it in
the festival series?
Yes,
so you're going to be coming. That's
yes, I definitely That's it's like the degenerates paradise really. If you look at the different events.
I'm not sure we can use that for marketing material. The Degenerates Paradise. Come to the festival. It is.
Honestly, I think
the Degenerates Paradise.
Honestly, I think it might attract some people like that know that they are degenerate and they like to play a lot of different things. And that's actually one of the festivals I'm definitely looking forward to. Just with all the different mixed games. I've seen that they announced like a 1.1K open face Chinese tournaments, which I really want to play. And then some other events, and I'll probably like things like a week or something, or 1.5 weeks, something like that, with a lot of poker and not a lot of sleep.
It's going to be an amazing time, and it's going to be in the Estonian capital of Tallinn. The next up, there was a stop last year in Bratislava, and that was fantastic. And they're building off of that, with everything learned to make this one even better. But there's a nice main event, but a lot of people are just coming like you for the side events. And then there's a blackjack tournament. I don't know if you've ever played that in the past.
I was playing blackjack tournaments,
There's a lot of skill in that. People think it's all luck. I mean, obviously, it's, there is some luck involved. But
I've never really played a blackjack tournament, but there's definitely a skill involved too, because you need to really look at stack sizes as well. And that's a funny thing as well. Like I would need to look into that. Like I've been looking into a lot of different blackjack stuff, like even things like card counting, which is really interesting. But you can't do anything with it in Malta because there's only one casino where you can actually card count, which is Portomaso. But if you do it actively, you'll get bored from it anyway. So there's no point. So I still like to play an occasional hand.
As a game player, you should really look at this a little bit deeper because you would love it. I mean, when you're short in chips, there may be times where you need to double down on hands that you wouldn't even ever think in your life to, and vice versa. You may not want to double down on even 11 against a 5.
It's a sort of thing in poker as well, where you play differently in cash games and in tournaments. When your tournament life is at stake, I would definitely play that. Yeah. And then I think there's also like some sports betting tournaments. And
there is.
There's nearly everything for
roulette and slots as well. The slots is the one where it's just clicking buttons, but the other ones all have a skill element. But
that reminds me of when the old poker room in Portomaso, where it was near the area where they held like slots tournaments for like the regular casino players in Portomaso. It was like really, it's like generally like the average age is like 70, and they just
I wish we had a camera on.
Yeah, I mean, people can imagine how it is. It's literally like people spamming buttons. It's something.
And you'll be excited to learn that there's also a Sweden special tournament as well. So that will be very good.
Yeah. That's why I'm trying to convince Martin to play as well. Because he's like one of the...
Martin Smith, he's an author as well, I believe.
Yeah, he wrote a Sweden book. I promised to buy it, still haven't bought it. I'll buy it at some point, Martin. But and he wasn't 100% sure if he could come, but that would be great if he can join as well, because it's going to be a lot of mixed game action as well, so it would be really great.
And it's going to be at Olympic Park Casino, who's used to running mixed game action during all their festivals. So it's not even just during this, but the cash games, there'll be 3-4 tables that are just mixed games. Some of them may be just Sweden, and some may be DC, but especially with the Swedish and Finnish players coming, and hopefully the Norwegians as well. They all love mixed games as much as we do.
And that's the final thing, as well, if you look at the mixed games we have in the casino and the mixed games we have in our home games, and the typical thing about poker in Malta as well is often if you look at the table, you'll have 8 players and they're all different nationalities, which is great. I like we've had tables where there's a guy from Turkey, from Finland, from Belgium, from Denmark, Sweden, everywhere. That's a good thing about poker in Malta as well. Even the local community is just people from everywhere.
Last night even from Hong Kong, I believe, right?
Yeah. He's from Hong Kong. Well, he's Hong Kong. Is it Hong Kongese? Hong Kongian? I don't know. He's from Hong Kong.
You were brave to try that, though.
Yeah, Hong Kong / Danish. Yeah, what was I thinking? Trying to say Hong Kongian. Yeah, get them right. Good.
Very good. So I am looking forward to coming back to Malta. We'll have to get together again.
Definitely.
Maybe not for the podcast, but for some mixed games for sure, and all that. And thank you very much for joining us today. And congratulations once again on your biggest score, 5th place, 16,000 euros. I know your backers should be happy as well. A nice return for their money, and drinks all around.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you.